My name is Alex, and what I'm about to tell you is a crazy story of how I went from being an average guy to a famous celebrity. I love my adoptive parents. They've always provided for me, cared for me as their own, and to be honest, I was pretty young when I was adopted, so I don't know or remember much of my real family. But on my 16th birthday, my whole life changed. My adoptive parents, Susan and Jack, have always wanted a son. Jack, my dad, was a simple man. He started out as a mechanic, doing car repairs for people in the area. He was really good at it, and all of his customers loved him. He then started his own auto shop. Even though he was good at his job, we weren't rich. Susan, my mom, was a teacher. She taught English at a local public school, so she definitely wasn't making that much money. She was always happy, though. She loved all of her students. We lived in a pretty small house. I knew that my adoptive parents tried their hardest to provide for me, and there was always food on the table. Dad made sure of that. But I never had the newest phone, the hottest video game, or the coolest clothes like all my friends at school had. Dad didn't let us spend that much money. He was always telling us to save. He would always tell me, "Money doesn't grow on trees, Alex, so make sure you spend it wisely." I never really knew what he meant by that. A bit about me, I was really young the day I was adopted. Both of them had traveled halfway around the world to find me. I don't remember much about anything. I was just a baby at the time. But they told me that my real mom was an alcoholic, and she dropped me off at the orphanage one night, wrapped in some warm clothes and a blanket with a note. They never told me what the note said, and it makes me kind of sad to think about it. I was like any normal kid. I went to school. My best friend at school was Tommy. We've been friends ever since we were little. Tommy came from a rich family. He always had the newest video games, most stylish clothes, and he was very popular. I would often go over to his house to play after school. His dad was a lawyer and worked with many rich clients, even some movie stars. Tommy's mom was the CEO of a really successful clothing company. That's probably why he always had new clothes. Even though Tommy was my best friend, I was always a little jealous of his life. On Tommy's 16th birthday, he pulled up to the school parking lot in a brand new red convertible. I was in shock. He took me for a ride around the block, and when we got back, I was so jealous. Heck, everyone in our school was jealous. All the guys wanted to be him, and all the girls wanted to date him. Tommy said his parents got him the car for his 16th birthday, but he was mad that he didn't get him the color he wanted. Instead, he got red. I couldn't believe it. Why couldn't I have nice things like that? Why did I have to get adopted by poor parents? I found myself becoming more angry about the whole situation. I don't know who I was angry at, Tommy, my parents, or myself. All I knew was that I wanted that red convertible, and I would do anything to get it. That summer, before my 16th birthday, I got a job at the movie theater downtown. It was a pretty nice theater. They would sometimes show private screenings where the actors and actresses would actually show up. I worked mainly at the popcorn stand serving food, snacks, popcorn to customers. The job didn't pay much, but I heard that sometimes people get discovered here to become a lead actor or actress in a movie. That's mainly why I stayed. I hoped I could get discovered. My adoptive parents were supportive of my new job. I think my dad thought I was working to help earn money for the family. He didn't know why I was really doing this. I even saw Tommy's dad come in a few times. He would meet some of his clients there. One night, while I was working a late shift, I saw him talking to a really pretty woman wearing a black dress and red heels. She looked a bit familiar, but her back was to me, so I couldn't get a good look. They seemed to talk for a short amount of time, then he walked her out. This happened for the next few nights. She would come by to the theater every night. Tommy's dad would hand her a few papers, some photos, and they would chat for a bit. On my 16th birthday, something happened that changed my life forever. She came to the theater by herself. She walked up to the concession stand and didn't say anything. She just stared at me. Who was she and why did she look so familiar? Then it hit me. She was Gwyneth Spire, the famous actress in Game of Stones. She was married to a very famous Hollywood producer, but he didn't have the best reputation. He was known for taking advantage of young women, promising them big careers if he could take them to bed. What she did next was really weird. She started crying. I was surprised and confused. Why was she crying? Did I do something to upset her? She apologized for being such a mess, and then she looked at me and said, "Alex, I'm your real mother. I was forced to give you up because I was scared that my husband would hurt you." She told me that I was a child from an affair. She had fallen in love during acting school with another student there, but they had to keep their relationship a secret. She was already married to the Hollywood producer at the time, and so she had to give me up to an orphanage far away from him, somewhere he would never find me. She feared something terrible would happen to me if her husband found out. It was clear she felt bad about what had happened, and she gave me the choice to come live with her in Hollywood. Now that she was a successful actress, she didn't have to rely on her husband to make a living. She could divorce him and no longer had to live in a lie. I could come live safely with her and enjoy a rich lifestyle, but there would be some terms I would have to agree to. If I agreed, she would tell me who my real father is and reveal all of our family's secrets and what happened in the 16 years we have been apart. There's still so much more I want to know, but if I were to join her, I would have to take on a new identity, cut contact with my adoptive parents forever. Part of me feels really guilty leaving my adoptive parents behind. I mean, they did raise me after all, but my real mom could provide a better life for me, and I really wanted to know the truth. Share your thoughts about my story below, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video.